When I launched my first vegan market, before the restaurant, my husband and I had run a vegan market it was probably the country's first vegan market, really tiny ones, about 10, 12 people, and 100 or 200 people coming in to buy stuff, 10, 12 stalls, and it was a small, cozy affair, but also very nice. And we did that a few times before I started running my restaurant, then didn't have time for it. So when we launched our vegan market for the first time, in the very first round, uh, one of the earliest people to join as a vendor was this lady who used to for years buy handmade jewelry from me. So I used to have an Etsy store. I'd make jewelry and then I'd sell them online. And one of my most regular customers was from my own hometown, and she wanted to be a part of the market. And she wasn't even vegan, but I guess we had developed this kind of nice relationship through the years of her buying jewelry from me, that it was like a kind of like a friendship, and she wanted to be a part of this market. She had so much interest to be a part of this event because mainly because she felt like, since I'm arranging it, there was something in it that she wanted to be a part of. And then when I was running the restaurant, one of the earliest customers was another lady who also used to buy jewelry from me over several years, and she was vegan. She started out by buying jewelry from me, and then she saw all my posts about veganism, saw my blog about vegan food and everything, and she decided to turn vegan herself. And again, we had this nice relationship because for so many years she'd been buying jewelry from me, my handmade stuff, and loving it so much, talking so well about it and everything. And she was in a different part of India, but when she came to Bangalore, my town, she visited the restaurant. And then after we closed the restaurant 7 8 years later, and I launched my vegan business coaching services, the very first person, my very, very first client, was this lady who used to come to the restaurant as a guest very often, to dine at the restaurant very often. And again, we'd built a really nice connection with each other, and kind of become friends and stuff like that. And she jumped on this service that I'd launched, and it felt so good because I created this service. I don't know who's interested, but I did it because for so many years I had run a vegan restaurant. Before that, I'd run my vegan jewelry business, my vegan blog and consultation, food consultation. I'd done so much that I felt like I had so much to share with new vegan entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs who are creative, who are working because they want to work towards a better world in some way or another, believe in a cause, conscious entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, conscious business owners. And but I knew I could share a lot, mentor them, teach plenty, but it's not something I'd ever done before because I've always taught vegan cooking classes, but never business consultations. Though I just randomly share advice if people ask me stuff while I was running the restaurant, but never really as a service. So it gave me a lot of motivation and a validation, like, okay, I'm on the right track, because as soon as I launched this service, this lady just booked the services and started taking coaching from me. All this to say that when you run a business, especially if it's a small conscious business of any kind, it it helps to nurture meaningful connections and relationships. And when you think, okay, I want a certain kind of ideal client, ideal customer, I want to attract certain kinds of people to buy from me. um, think beyond just the business that you're currently running into a long term relationship. Like, it's a long game. How can you make these connections last um, for years to come? And when you invest yourself in that, and do it genuinely, not with the intention of, oh, this is going to get me business in the future or whatever, but in a genuine way, make build some beautiful connection, nurture some really nice relationships. When you do that, then it doesn't matter if your business closes or transforms or becomes something else. That relationship will translate across the board, across the years, into other parts of your life, other businesses, other things that you run, other work that you do. Hi, I am Susmita Veganosaurus, and if this is your first time here, you're listening to the Feel Good Factor. This is a podcast about joyfulness, mindfulness, and well being for vegan entrepreneurs and creatives and multi passionate people. So, next week, I'm doing a workshop called Friends Buy from Friends. I got the idea for the workshop like it was a spark, like out of the blue. I was doing something, thinking something. Maybe I was like fondly reminiscing about, the beautiful connections I formed through the years of running my restaurant. Because that's the most precious part of me, whether it's my team or the clients and community or other fellow business owners. Those relationships are the most valuable part of all those years of running the restaurant for me. The food was, of course, but then, you eat it then and it's over. But these relationships have lasted through the years, and the examples I shared are only a handful of the many, many wonderful relationships I've developed. So I think between that and also, I was at an event recently, a vegan market carnival type of event recently, and I met a lot of old friends and old restaurant clients and stuff there. I think all those memories kind of, I was just sitting and fondly thinking of all that, and then I made that connection. I'm like, oh my god, these friendships, they, yes, they were important to me emotionally. They helped me, they kept me motivated to keep running my business through the difficult times also. uh, but they were also very lucrative. Having these friendships, building these connections, helped my business go on for so many years, and only shut down because circumstances were totally out of the ordinary, right, in 2020 and 2021. So that's why it was shut down, and otherwise it would have just kept going on and on for a much longer time. So I'm like, what did I do? Like, I didn't plan and develop these friendships and relationships, they just organically formed. But what did I do exactly that made made my business close to people's hearts, made this a special kind of connection for them? And then I remembered the quote, which Anne Hangley has shared several times. The quote is by somebody else, but she does, I like the way she puts it: friends buy from friends. So it's not just friends buy from friends, but all things being equal, friends buy from friends. But even when all things are not equal, friends will still buy from friends. You kind of tend to do that. And then I remembered, thought of myself as a customer, as somebody who's going to buy something. And I'm like, yeah, that's very, very true. I see, when it comes to, larger corporate buying, like, if I have to order groceries, and there's Amazon and Swiggy and, Blinkit and Zomato, there's so many, right? Like, um, I have zero loyalty to any of these brands. Whatever, I just look at the price, I look at what I like, what is quickest, whatever. There are different reasons, my decisions of ordering from either of these platforms. They're all based on different decisions, and whatever I order, which restaurants I order from or which shops I, that also it just depends, like, on my mood on the day, what I want, how quickly I want it, and what discounts are available, what offers. That's about it. Nothing in my decisions are based out of loyalty. Whereas when I'm buying from smaller businesses, conscious businesses, some are fully vegan businesses, some may not be fully vegan, but they have very good vegan products that I like. They may not be run by vegans, but they know, what vegan food is, and they take very good care to make sure all the food is, completely safe. It's completely ethically made, compassionately made, and when I decide, even if it's the exact same product between two or three brands, I notice that I have a tendency to order from those people more who I think are my friends. Friends as in, it doesn't have to be best friend, close friend, but you have friends, right? Like maybe a little bit something, a relationship, a connection that is little deeper than being just acquaintances. And I notice that I respond to friendship very well, and I tend to order or even to promote the brands where I feel kind of a connection with the owner of it, owner of that particular brand. I just tend to do that. And I'm like, okay, so then there is something to this. What did I do to develop friendships as a business owner? And then I sat down and reverse engineered the whole thing. I gave it a lot of thought, and okay, what was this step? What did I do? What was this other step? What is it that people told me they like most about my business, or why they keep coming back? And I reverse engineered the whole thing, and I realized that yes, again, it was, of course, food was excellent, and I am pretty proud of the quality of the jewelry that I make, and I used to make back then too. So it's not just that, right? That is the all things being equal. Like, okay, my vegan food is just as good as any other uh, food of the same kind in the market, like even the non-vegan stuff. But like, say, my, our garlic cream pasta at the restaurant, like, equal to any other cream pasta outside, something like that. So yes, all things being equal, why were people coming back to us more regularly than other similar businesses? Because a lot of our customers weren't vegan. Most of them weren't, and they came back to eat the food that we made. And then all things not being so equal, which is where I thought of that as from the perspective of, say, maybe our prices were a little higher than the other places, for the same kind of stuff. So why is it people were coming back to us, or choosing us again and again over others? So I sat and reverse engineered it, put it all together, and then I developed this workshop. I'm like, oh my god, I have to teach this. This is information that's going to be so useful to newer entrepreneurs, not just newer entrepreneurs, like basically solopreneurs, small business owners who even have been running it for a while. This is like a secret sauce, and it's not something I learned, but it's just something that I did, and now I can teach it, because I realized it's not just a nature, like making friendships. Yes, sure, it comes easy to me, but also it is a skill that you can develop. How you can make these connections, how you can build these relationships. So I came out with this workshop and listed it, and it's put out there. If you're a creative entrepreneur, if you're a small business owner, especially a vegan business owner, then you're going to find this workshop extremely useful. It's next Wednesday, 19th of Jan. I'm going to put the link in the show notes so you can see it, and you might want to join it. Live workshops are, when you attend them live, it's always the best experience. But even if you can't attend live, I will send you the recording of the workshop. So, and I have it right now. Like, I always like to pamper first responders, first, early adapters, sorry, wrong word, early adapters, where they jump on something I offer first. I like to pamper them. So my price when I do the live event is lower than afterwards when I put the recording onto my academy. I feel like, yes, they are actively a part of something, a part of the class. They're going to attend the class, and yes, the benefit they get is to ask me questions directly, interact with me, and be a part of that energy, and also connect with each other. But the benefit I get is that these people make the class what it is. Yes, the training is one part of it, which I already developed, but then their questions and their responses add the energy and beauty to the class. So I feel like, yes, whoever joins first gets the gets the lowest price. Even the ones who can't attend, but they've jumped on the thing first, I feel like they need to get the lowest price. And then later, when it goes on to my academy, it's a fully formed workshop, and then yes, it goes up. It goes to its true value. So right now I'm selling it. I'm selling it at a steal, like at a really low price. But then it's going to jump up at least three times the price it is right now, because that is its true value. So if you know of any vegan entrepreneurs, small business owners, then do pass on this link to them too. Um, Also, if I mean whether you join the workshop or not, know that when you put in effort to nurture meaningful, real relationships, it is far more valuable than any kind of some loyalty program or discount or whatever that you offer. Far more valuable, that personal touch. And because you're a small business owner or a creative solopreneur, um, you have the opportunity to build real relationships because you're directly interacting with people. If not you directly, if you say, if you have a small team, if you're not a solopreneur, you can teach your team also to make those connections with people, because that's what will keep them not only coming back, they'll keep bringing people back, they'll keep promoting you, they become your fans, become your best marketers. Nobody and nothing else can do it. So yeah, always remember that. And that's all for today. So the link to the workshop is in my show notes. And if you're listening to this episode, like much after I'm done with the 19th November 2025, I'm done with that workshop. The link is going to lead to the place where you can purchase the video recording, which, as I said, it is very, very valuable. It's packed. I'm actually a bit nervous because I'm like, okay, I have so many ideas. How am I going to fit it into a 1 hour class? But it's going to happen. It always does. It always falls into place. So, yeah, I will talk to you again next week. Thank you so much for listening. Take care. Bye.